Welcome to Robyn's Roost. Today I have a fun birthday card for you for those of us who send our cards a little late sometimes. So it uses the long time no see stamp set. So definitely right up my alley. Cute critters are my thing. So he starts like this. It's a pretty simple card actually, and then opens up. It's a long time that I missed your birthday, right? So I thought it was really cute and funny. So let's flip the camera and I'll show you how to create this simple card. So here is the star of this card, the long time no see stamp set. It has the cute llama and the little dachshund. And then it can be some Christmassy things because we have a Merry Christmas in here. But what caught my eye about it was the sorry, I'm a little behind. So I'm not always really good about getting birthday cards out on time. And this gives me a way to get it out after. And everyone that I know knows that I love animals, especially dogs. So this little guy, I thought, how can I make him longer with this piece, this stamp, so that when you open the card, he looks really long. This is for the ones that I've forgotten for like a month. So let's move on to what we need. So you're going to need a scrap piece of white to stamp your dog on. That's like 1/4 of a sheet. And I'm hoping I might need to grab another extra piece for our long. I might not have enough there. I just grabbed a scrap. And then you'll need something to decorate the right side of the inside of the card. So this is a piece of the Turtley Cute Designer Series paper, kind of the back side of the paper, right? I had to cut up some little turtles because I like the stripies. It made me think birthday. So this piece is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then the piece behind it, the matte piece that it layers on, is an 1/8 inch bigger. So it's, oh gosh, let me find my measurements or I'll tell you the wrong ones. Let's see, grab my sheet here. This one is 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. And then we have our card base, and I've just used a basic white, and it is the basic white thick. It is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, but then we scored an extra time, so it's scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, so in half. We've scored the front in half, and we're just going to fold it, and then am I doing it? No, this way. Okay, fold it again, so that basically we're just folding the open half of the front back. And then we're kind of done with that for right now. We can layer these up so they're ready to go on. Actually, we could put them on the card right away, and then I won't lose them while we're stamping here. Oh, overshot. Get that off before it sticks to something. And then let's just go ahead and put this on here because we know it's going to go on this part. And then I like to just do equal spaces because I know I made it so that there's equal spaces all around. And then I'll know it's a little bit more that way, but it's in the right spot. So I did go and grab a little bit bigger scrap. I'm not sure if that one was big enough or not. So we're going to do our stamping with the Tuxedo Memento Black because we're going to be coloring it with some alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends. So we're going to need to stamp 2 dogs, and we'll keep them over to one side so we have room on the other side for our long part of the dog. I think I had something on his nose. Try that again. Hopefully I got it off. Okay. So we've got our 2 dogs. And we need our long piece here. We'll just stamp it all. We don't need the whole thing, but I think my piece is plenty long now. And this is like 1/4 of a piece of paper. And we're done with our stamping for now, so I'm going to move that out of the way. We are going to need some greetings on the card later. So I'm using dark real red, and of course you could use any color you wanted, right, for the stripes. So for our this is kind of an important part on how you color these stripes on the dog. So you want to start, this is going to be our tail piece, and the tail piece you want to leave the first one white, and then start your stripes with the red. Now if you wanted, you could color the entire dog and then come up with some cute little card that you could make with the other halves of the dog. You could kind of make him like he's sitting down. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm thinking I might try that. So then that's as far as we need to do, just the 2 stripes. Then we're going to flip him over, and this is going to be our front dog. So here we're going to start from the front and leave the front white, his collar part. So if you think of it that way, you're going to start coloring, leaving the first one white on the tail, and then leaving the first one white on the head. It took me quite a while to figure out my color scheme on these, on what I had to color. So then for the dog, I'm using 3 different browns, and these are all from the natural tones, or I think they're like skin tones. So my main color is going to be the medium, and it's 159462, and I'm using both the light and the dark. So what I'm doing here is I am coloring everything on the dog that I'm going to use with the light one. This is all his body parts, and I'm only going to color the front on this guy. And then I'm going to come back in with the dark marker, and I'm going to outline him. Just going to run around all of his lines. And then his paw could be pretty much mostly dark. Then I'm going to come back for his ear. You notice I didn't do his ear, and this is the dark deep. So it's 158152 is the part number, and I'm only using the dark one. And I am going to come back in, and I'm going to color his ear in. Only you're going to be more careful and not creep out of the lines. I think I should go get a color lifter here. Now you could leave the center a little bit lighter if you wanted. Okay, let's do the other side. Now we're going to do the tail on this one. We won't need the dark for this, just the medium marker. And then we're going to do the same thing with the dark. We're just going to outline all the lines. And then in here I'm going to kind of fill this part in dark, because that under his belly would be a little darker. And then his tail. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we're going to, oops, we forgot this part. Okay, let's do this too. So I want to start with one end or the other, and I want to leave that first, the open end, white. And I want to have about 4 of these. I can't remember how many I actually need, but we'll color 4 of them. I think that's plenty. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut these out. Now for the front dog, we want to cut him. Let's see, did I not? Oops, I did not color enough. Let's see, this is our front guy. We need one more because we're going to cut him right on this real straight line. So there's one of the stripes that's real straight, the line. And that's where we want to cut him. We might actually need to cut a little bit into the red, but let's just, let's start here. So then right on this straight line, and like I said, we might end up cutting a little bit more off, but we'll leave it at this for now until we get to the card, because we don't want any of his nose to show when the card is closed. Okay, there is our front part of the dog. Now for the back, we are going to cut from this real curved angled one straight up. So you want to have a little piece of the white. So there's our back end of our dog. And our middle. Boy, and I did a horrible job coloring these in. Let's take the other end. So the color lifter kind of, it's like it pushes the color, it resists it. It's not a 100% solution, but it does kind of help. Especially red on white, not the best. I probably should color the other end and start from there. Let's try that, because I did really bad on that. I didn't realize it was that bad. So we have an open end on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yep, I have enough. I'm not sure why I'm trying to hurry this morning, but coloring and hurrying really don't go well together. That looks better. Okay, now let's pull our card back in, our base. And one thing I want to do is take my ruler and a pencil, and I don't want this guy's nose to stick out where you see it when the card is closed. So you could just snip it off a hair and then try it again. Actually, that might be the easier way, and then I won't have a pencil mark. But if you want to measure, you know you don't want his nose tip going probably more than 2 inches over. So let's just take a little snip off of here. And let's see if that did it. Yes, his nose is totally covered. And then his back end is going to go here. And then our middle is going to go right here. And we want this white and this white. So we're going to put our greeting down here, so his feet are going to kind of be standing on the greeting. So we have, let's see, here's our happy birthday. So yep, we got plenty of room there. So let's go ahead and glue this part down. And you could use your tape runner for this as well. I'm just using the liquid glue so I can get in his nose and the little spots. Okay, so getting right about there. And before I really glue him down, let's see if we can push him, oops, push him right tight into the crease. Okay, that looks good. And then let's do his long part here next. Okay, so I want to cut this about in half here. And I'm using the right side, right? Yes, the one that I didn't muck up. Okay, so then you're going to have just this little bit here. And I'm going to trim this off after I've got it glued on. So I'm going to not put my glue quite to the end. Put this right here so I can line them up. Hopefully I'm not going downhill. Although if his back end is on his front end's up on a hump and his back end is down, I guess he could go down a hill. And then I am going to trim off this end. That way I don't have to measure any of that. Okay, and then we want our back end to go right here. And we'll line them up again. And then when it closes, you're just going to see his back end, and you open it and you see the long dog. So you're really, really far behind sending this card out. And now let's go ahead and add our greetings. So, sorry, I'm a little behind. I don't know, maybe this doesn't tickle everybody's funny bone, but it did mine. Okay, and then we have to make sure this birthday greeting, you don't want it going past the nose area either, so we're going to put it kind of over. If I could see that. For some reason I can't see the fold. It didn't go over. Ooh, it's right there. Oh, and we have a little photo bomber here. I usually have the cat and both dogs in here. This morning, the one dog is upstairs in bed yet, so I've only got one dog snoring away. You might hear him, and of course the cat. So here's our card. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Happy birthday. I just really, really like that. Now, I would probably, you know, sign my name in here. Or you could do it on the back as well. But hope you enjoyed this card. If you would like to purchase any of the supplies, go ahead and head to my website. I have the address below. And thank you for stopping at the Roost. Hope you have a great day.